Hello, welcome to my channel. I am Rachel and I'm going to show you what we had for dinner this weekend, and I'm also going to organize our pantry. To start off, on Friday, we tried out this garlic cheese flatbread. It reminded me of a garlic crust, or crazy crust I think it was called, at a local pizza place in the town that I grew up in. And obviously this one from Aldi's looked a little bare, so I added some Parmesan cheese and some Italian seasoning and a little pinch of garlic powder. Bill thought this cheesy crust was really good. Cameron wasn't a fan, and I was somewhere in the middle because I had memories of crazy crust. So we're going to make some sausage to go on top of our pizzas. I am trying out this sausage from Aldi's, and they did not have any type of zesty hot sausage, so I'm making my own by adding some crushed red pepper flakes, and since Bill is such a fan of fennel seed, I added that too. And I'm just browning it up and getting it all cooked through. I wasn't sure if we would like this off-brand sausage from Aldi's, but it turned out just fine. I forgot to pick up cheese, so we are using the same two kinds of cheese that we used all last week. And I had some pepperoni and some sausage and some onions to put on these pizzas. My toppings go under the cheese, everybody else is on top. And here's how that crazy crust, as I'm calling it, turned out. Nice and bubbly and brown. And our pizzas, these are so good. I think I showed a different video of us making them, and we made them again on this Friday night. We had our grandson Sawyer over to spend the night. He's 3 years old, and we had so much fun just giving him attention all night long. Next, I'm going to be very vulnerable and show you this disaster of what we called a pantry. It is a closet outside of our kitchen, along the stairway as you're going down to the basement. And as you can see, I have 3 different heights of like bookshelf type shelving in here. And that is where we have been storing our food. I don't even know what is on that. That's a lunch bag. It might be a mashed up banana. Not sure. Anyway, I'm just going to get started emptying out that room. Now, please bear with me as my whole entire kitchen is a work in progress in a series of unfinished projects.
As a young girl, the fields were mine. We played hide and seek for hours, raised our shadows among the pines. So offshore, playful and free, without a care in the world. I was one rich little girl, daydreamer, kidnap me. Take me back, all the way back to them days, running around in a gown and a crown, barefoot.
Once upon a time, we started a project in this closet and it just didn't work out. I took out the one lonely shelf above the top of this wall, and I brought this black shelving unit up from the basement. And next here I'm just showing you what a mess I made in my kitchen, taking everything out. There's a mixture of tools, cleaning products, food, and, well, you name it, everything you can think of. And I somehow have to put it all back together and make it make sense. Our house is really old, and right through this door and directly to the left is where the pantry is. There's all kinds of little nooks and alcoves in this house, and this is the one that I chose to be the pantry. And here, I didn't realize how terrible the lighting was, or the bad angle. I'm really sorry for that. I don't know if there was any way possible to light this little area up. You'll see in a little while the troubles that I had with lighting in here. So basically, you get the gist that I am adding a shelf, and I'm using what I have. I did not go out and buy anything new for this little project here. I just was not into it. I am not really hung up on the way that this looks. I just want it to function. So I did have some of these brackets. They're a little too big for the shelf that I had, but like I said, I just don't care about that. And I use these foam boards with contact paper on them that I use for a different craft project to hide the particle board or pressed wood, or I mean, it's real wood, but it's just really ugly. And aside from painting it, I wasn't sure what I was going to do with it to cover it up and make it prettier. So when I realized I had these boards, I have like 5 or 6 of them kind of sitting around from a different craft project, I thought I'll just attach them to the wood and give it a little bit of a backdrop. I didn't want that paper near my air fryer, so I only did it above the two, between the 2 shelves. And I did salvage a strip of the LED lighting that was sticking through the little hole, and I made that work, thinking all the light I could get in this little area would be good. And yes, I did put up some Christmas lights in there even to try that. And then I found this lamp and I thought, oh, how crazy to put a lamp in there. But, you know, I've been called crazy before and it hasn't hurt me yet. So it did the trick. And I promise you, in real life, it's much brighter than it is on camera. Next, I'm just going to start putting everything on the shelves. And I'm not going to just go through everything or put you through that torture of, you know, describing what everything is. It's food, it's going on the shelves. This is all there is to it.
As a young girl, the fields were mine. We played hide and seek for hours, raised our shadows among the pines. So offshore, playful and free, without a care in the world. I was one rich little girl, daydreamer, kidnap me, take me back, all the way back to them days, running around in a gown and a crown, barefoot. Ever kept me late. We spent summers catching fireflies and winters on our skates. One big smile across my face. We used to dance our way to church on Sundays. Mama set the pace. Daydreamer, kidnap me, take me back, all the way back to them days, running around in a gown and a crown, barefoot.
And that is our pantry, and to me it is so much better than it was. Very much more so organized. I'm sure one day I will go in and work on this pantry a little more when I get that itch to do so, and clean up some of those rough edges, maybe put some paint on the walls. As you could see, every closet and every inch of the basement is a really old-fashioned mint green color. It must have been in style back in the 50s. I'm not sure, but I don't mind it. And I will maybe one day, if I can get my son motivated to come over and help out, get some built-ins put in this pantry. I'm not sure if anybody really saw my vision in the beginning when I wanted to turn this into a pantry to begin with, but maybe now that I've gone a step further, then they might be on board too. Right now I'm cutting potatoes to make mashed potatoes, and as you saw, I just cut off a piece of rotten potato and I continued to cut it up. What do you do when you peel potatoes that are rotten or have rotten edges? I don't know. I was taught that we just peel it or we cut it off and we keep on going. We don't waste it. But I don't know. Do some people throw out the whole potato? Let me know. Next, I'm getting some onions chopped up. For the meatloaf, I'm going to just throw it in my bowl and then get it all assembled together. I'm making two meatloaves today because I wanted a meatloaf that has like a ketchup barbecue sauce topping, and Bill has some bad childhood memories about this kind of meatloaf, I guess. When we first got together, he said he did not like meatloaf, and so I made him my meatloaf, which has a cream of mushroom soup topping, and it is now one of his favorite meals, and he asks for it all the time, but since then, he has not ventured into any other varieties of meatloaf. And as we know, there are many, many ways to make meatloaf. So I decided that instead of making one big cream of mushroom meatloaf, I would make two. That way he can sample and try. And I'm using a stuffing mix for this meatloaf, and I kind of wish that I hadn't this time. I'm not sure if it was the brand or what, but it really had a sagey taste, and I didn't really care for that so much. Normally, when I use a box of stuffing, it doesn't really have a really strong taste, but this time it did. So, I mean, it was still good, but it was just, it's something to watch for when you're buying a stuffing mix to use in a meatloaf. I will definitely keep that in mind the next time I shop. So I'm just using my hands and I'm getting all of the meat and the egg and the milk and the stuffing mix all mixed together. Just getting it mixed in really, really, really good. You can try using a spoon, and you can try other ways. I don't know, maybe people use a masher or a mixer, but I have found that your hands really are the most effective way to mix a meatloaf. And here I'm just dividing up the mixture into two pans because, like I said, they're each going to get different toppings when they're all cooked. I'm just using my spoon and I'm going to mash this meatloaf mix down into the pan to give it that loaf shape. I have just been making up for all of the onions that I left out in the weeks previous. I've been having some stomach issues, so I haven't been adding onions to anything lately, just kind of going with onion powder. But now that I'm feeling better, I've been craving onions, and as you can see, I put a lot in our meatloaf. We just like it that way. And if you don't, just leave them out. I know that sometimes kids don't like onions and grown-ups too. In a bowl, I'm just putting some ketchup in first. I have this sugar-free ketchup, and I thought I would show you how ironic it is because I'm going to be adding brown sugar to this. I'm adding some Worcestershire sauce, a good amount. We like it, and you just flavor it the way that you want to. And some brown sugar. I'm going to give that a stir. Get all of those granules mixed in and kind of broken down. And get that Worcestershire sauce mixed in with the ketchup, and then I'm coming back in with some hot sauce. And this was just, I don't always do this, but I just kind of wanted a little bit of kick. Not a lot, just a little. Just get that all stirred in, and then I'm adding a little garlic powder and onion powder. And this is so good. In another bowl for the other meatloaf, I am just adding a can of cream of mushroom soup to begin with, again with some Worcestershire sauce, and I'm using some minced onion. I already have onion in the meatloaf, but I thought this little bit of dried onion in the topping would be good also. It's just using what I had on hand and what I thought would kick up the flavor of the cream of mushroom soup just a little bit. a little more Worcestershire sauce just because we liked it and I wanted, you know, that extra flavor in that cream of mushroom soup. And I'm just trying to get some of those lumps mixed out of this mushroom soup. I have some corn in a skillet. I drained one can and left the liquid in the other, and we're boiling potatoes for mashed potatoes. So I'm just getting my milk in the pan after I remove the potatoes to drain them. I'm using this cream cheese spread, just what's left of it. It's the onion and chive flavor, and this really made our mashed potatoes taste extra special. I have some cold milk and some cold cream cheese, and I'm adding some pepper. Now, obviously, you wouldn't add this much if you don't like black pepper, but we do. So I put a lot of black pepper, and I'm adding some salt, and, you know, potatoes just take a lot of salt. And I'm also putting in a half a stick of butter. My butter is frozen, so I have a lot of cold ingredients going into this pan that I'm trying to warm up, and these potatoes are going in super hot, and that's good because it's going to help melt all of the cold ingredients and get them cooked in. And I'm just trying to get everything to the same temp, and then I will start mashing them. And today I'm going to use my electric mixer to make my mashed potatoes. I don't always do that. Sometimes I use a hand masher, and sometimes I use an electric mixer if I want them to be extra smooth. And these mashed potatoes turned out extra good. I think that the cream cheese spread really made all the difference.
As a young girl, it feels we're mine. We played hide and seek for hours, raised our shadows among the pines. So offshore, playful and free, without a care in the world. I was one rich little girl, daydreamer, kidnap me, take me back, all the way back to them days, running around in a gown and a crown, barefoot. No mistake ever kept me late. We spent summers catching fireflies and winters on our skates. One big smile across my face. We used to dance.
I removed the meatloaves during the last 30 minutes of cook time, and I added the cream of mushroom sauce to the top of one and the barbecue sauce to the other, and then I just pop them back in the oven for the remaining 30 minutes and let those sauces cook into and get all nice and, I don't know what you would call it, like caramelized or whatever. The sugar in the ketchup brown sugar mix will just get all nice and sticky, and that is exactly what you want in your meatloaf topping. Thank you so much for stopping by and watching this video, and I hope that you enjoyed the recipe inspiration as well as the pantry organization. I know that it's not picture perfect, but I'm here to tell you that if you aren't happy with your life, a brand new Pinterest-worthy pantry will not make you happy. And I couldn't be more pleased with the way that the organization in my pantry has turned out this time. I know that it's only a step in the direction that I want to go with it, but patience and some hard work will get me there someday. If you enjoy, please consider subscribing. I would love to have you be a part of my YouTube family, and I will see you the next time. Bye for now.